Welcome to the newest episode of Avillion and Brayden Talks. Been a
Hello.
minute, missed a week. Shit happens.
A lot of shit happens. Um, I was knocked down. I was kicked while I was down, and I got run over, and I got chewed up and spat back out, and then and when we here, I was so excited to just get out of the house and get back to work on yesterday, and then I had a flat tire yesterday morning, so I couldn't go nowhere. So,
Ooh.
but I went to work today and I got a raise.
Oh,
So
that's pretty good.
and I got new glasses, so you see the vision. I don't like vision anymore, so I see clearly now. The pain is gone. There was pain yesterday, of course. That new glasses migraine for all my glasses people out there. You know, when you it doesn't matter how much your prescription changes. Mine changed very little. Still, the headache that you get. This motherfucker's playing with my old glasses right now. This little goober. Um, the headache that you get is monumental when you get new glasses. So, um, I like them though. I think they look good, and I fucks with them, and I see better. So, and I got a raise, like I said. So, on the come up, um, we're doing better.
The up is coming.
The up is coming. So I apologize for last week. Um, so because last week's was supposed to be on Braden's channel, and it was my fault that we couldn't record, this week is also on Braden's channel. So it'll be the following week we'll do mine, and then the Super Bowl review is going to be on Braden's. So he's
I,
excited. He gets to do conference championship and Super Bowl
I
review.
got the big ones.
Yes, sir.
It's pretty dope.
Yes, sir.
Um, but I guess at first, since we missed divisional, we could do a quick aside on the divisional round. If there's anything we want to discuss, because what were the divisional games? It was Texans, Ravens, Chiefs,
I mean,
Bills,
yeah.
Packers, Niners, and then
Yep.
Lions, Bucks. Those
That's
are the
probably
four.
the one I've got the least to say about. I guess the only thing I have to say about Tampa is that I think Dave Canales is going to be good for Bryce Young. Good hire, David Tepper. Don't fuck it up. I know you're going to. But anyway, Jordan Love's going to be fine. That was a very silly little throw that he made to end the game. But
Just a little silly throw.
But again, first year as a starter, second career playoff game, first time in the clutch in playoffs. Like, I get it. Like, of course, you want to see him just throw it away. Like, they had two timeouts left, I think, and there was like a minute left on the clock. Like, plenty of time to go down the field and do something. You don't need to do that. But also, maybe Anders Carlson should just hit the field goal earlier in the game, and then it would have been a tight ball game.
I was so close because I picked against the Niners twice,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really close both times.
Yes.
But they just fucking found a way.
Buffalo, Leslie Frazier's gone, and I think he might be signing with Miami, which would be pretty hilarious if he stays in the division and signs with the Dolphins. I don't think there's anything official there yet. I think he's just talking with Miami. I think he's the favorite to be the Dolphins defensive coordinator, which I don't know if I like the fit there, but we'll see. And in general, I think I'm not really sure about Buffalo's future. I feel like the window. I wouldn't say the window's closed because you have a super weapon at quarterback.
I was like, that window never closes while that man's active.
The window doesn't. Well, you're in the AFC. That was the only concern is you have.
He's that guy. I think he's that level.
Mahomes, but I do. Well,
Also,
he is.
For a quick thing with Josh Allen, the thing you want your superstar quarterback in those moments is to make the throw, and Josh Allen did make the throw.
Stephon Diggs did not make
the catch. So there has been some Josh Allen slander not needed.
And I say this as somebody who has been a professional, was retired professional Josh Allen hater. I've seen the light as of the last couple of years or so, but for the first 3-4 years of his career, I'm like, whatever. Even when he started playing well, I'm like, whatever. Because and I still, he's still good for 3 or 4 terrible games every single year.
Yes.
But generally speaking, I'm very pro Josh Allen now. I've seen the light. Josh Allen slander, the playoff slander, is pretty he's had one bad playoff game in his career. The rest of them he's been lights out. I don't understand the problem. I think it makes more sense for Lamar, and I say this as somebody who's been more pro Lamar.
We'll get into that. That's a tough conversation.
It's going to be painful for me to admit. But Josh Allen playoff choker bullshit. I mean, he plays just as well as anybody else. routinely in the postseason.
The real
I
question is
don't
just
think
what
it's on.
happened to Stephon this year. He was great for the first half,
Just
and then
I
disappeared.
can tell you, man, it's got to be a mental thing.
I don't know what
Got to
happened.
be a mental
That's
thing.
so
Well,
weird.
especially Bowie appearance once again. My bed is made, by the way, kind of, sort of. I don't know, prettier than it usually is when we're recording. I got a new fake plant as well. It's on my dresser there, or my nightstand, excuse me. Um, I don't have much to say about Baltimore. Houston made it further than they should have this year. I don't feel any worse about Bobby Slowick as a play caller after that game. I think Mike McDonald's just that good. I just think it was just you play the better team in their stadium and you lost. It happens. It happens every year. It's okay. Nothing to be ashamed of there if you're Houston. Like Houston, I think bright future, quote unquote, is the biggest lie in all of sports. But it's hard to say Houston doesn't have one.
That's a random ass take to drop in there.
Well, I was gonna say Houston's got a very bright future, but I'm like, well, sometimes that comes like that reality comes quickly for teams that supposedly have a bright future. Sometimes it just doesn't materialize, but Houston does. Like I feel typically in the NFL, if you've got a quarterback, you've got a future, and they certainly have a quarterback. So I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything that happened in that divisional round of note. I think the only thing is for the Bills, I don't think they need to do anything drastic.
Nothing insane.
I think they just need more consistent play from their wide receivers.
Well, and I don't know. I like Sean McDermott. I don't know if I love Sean McDermott though, and I feel like at some point, if you can't get over the hump, maybe you have to look at a coaching change eventually. But and again, if he's changing his staff this year, which he is, then that's I'm okay with that too. Like as long as there's change, as long as you're not running it back with the exact same group of people, because they fired Ken Dorsey middle of the season. They now have officially kept Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator for next season, which is the right move. They hardly lost. I think they lost 2 games with Joe Brady. One of them was in the playoffs. So they finished the year like 6-1 or 7-1, whatever it was, in the regular season. And a big part of that was Joe Brady's offense. I think he's grown. I'm very happy for him. I've always been a big Joe Brady guy, so good for him. And then, like I said, Ken Dorsey's gone. So whoever they bring in to replace him, or not Ken Dorsey, excuse me, Leslie Frazier is also gone. So whoever they bring in as their defensive coordinator, hopefully it's a good one, and then we'll see about next year.
Yeah. I think that's it for the divisional round. Honestly, I think we can move on to the conference championship games, and I think let's start with the one we don't want to talk about, and that's the Lamar.
I will say in terms of hierarchy of blame, I would still put Todd Monken number 1 because the situational play calling in that game was abysmal. But Lamar is certainly number 2, and it's hard to be. It's hard.
Where
to
you
be
put
too
Zay
hard
Flowers
on,
at?
I was gonna say it's hard to be too hard on Zay Flowers for now. Now, granted, the taunting thing was dumb. Like you knew damn well you were gonna get that flag. You shouldn't have done it. I mean, I think the call is also dumb. I don't have a problem with players taunting. It's fucking sports. Like, let your nuts let him let his nuts hang. It's ridiculous. But at the same time, like the rules. The refs tell you before the season starts, hey, this is what we're going to allow. This is what we're not going to allow. Like, you can't head tap a guy and then flex over him. Like, so I think that penalty probably did cost them a touchdown. Realistically, they probably would have gotten it had they not been pushed back because they wouldn't have been in position where Zay would have had to catch and run and dive. But also, like, can you really blame a guy for trying to dive for the touchdown? Like, they needed points desperately. Zay was the only reason they were even on the board at that point.
I think you can because I think coaches don't they say not to fucking do that?
Tell them not to. Yeah.
So if it's drilled in your head not to do that, especially in that situation, I think I've heard some people say that coaches will say on like 4th down, do fucking everything, but not
like it was like 2nd and whatever it was. I think it was like 2nd down.
Yeah.
But
especially because I think he picked up a first doing it already.
Yeah, he did. If he had been tackled, it would have been a first and goal from like the 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I get it, but I have a friend who he plays running back. He's D3, but I think he said his coach told him the same thing. Like, just never dive. Like, if you don't have to.
And of course, it's hard in the moment. Like in the moment, you're just thinking score. But at the same time, for how many years has he been told not to dive?
Yeah.
plenty.
I get it though. I get it. And again, like he was the only reason they were even moving the ball. So it's
That
like
is true.
yes, put like hold him accountable for that mistake. However, he's kind of also the only reason they were in position to make that big of a mistake because it was
Yeah.
him who scored the only touchdown that they had scored that game. It was him who got them to that position on the field.
They tied it
Like
7-7. I thought we had a game.
dude, as soon as they caught that, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like this is.
I was like, here we
cinema.
go. Now he gets rolling. MVP Lamar's coming out.
Yeah, like,
Nope.
what a boring ass game, man. And
So disappointing.
That was.
They
That was a
literally
rough
asked me if I
part,
wanted to come in on work that day, and I was like, no, I can't miss Lamar versus Mahomes. And then I got
could've.
rewarded with that. I was like, well,
you could've
I
missed
probably
it.
should have just taken that
You
money.
could have missed it. Yeah, that's tragic. I'm with you.
Yeah, that was disappointing. Don't throw Justin Tucker's shit around.
Yeah. Also, what
As-
the fuck was that? I mean, what like what a bitch move from two guys that I love as football.
I don't
players.
care for. I really don't care for Kelsey anymore. The coolest thing about him is that he dates Taylor Swift.
You're like the only person.
I'm like the anti everyone else.
I'm with you. I'm with you though. I have no problem with it, but
I get
Yeah.
people being annoyed of her show constantly.
But that's not her fault.
It's
She's just
not
at the
her
game.
fault.
She's just at the game. What do you want her to do?
Yeah, but that's also the other thing. It's like she's just doing what everyone else in the arena is doing.
The cameras are just on her because
It's just always her, and I get people being annoyed. It's like, we get it. She's here. She's rich. She's better than us. Can show a normal person celebrating, please, for the love of God.
Yeah.
I think that's what some of it is.
Well, also some of it's social media. Like, there was that ESPN post where it was like flight 1989 and flight 87, and it's like, do we need to know? Like,
Yeah.
okay, wonderful, but I still think it's ridiculous. If you're complaining that much just about her existence, like, you've got bigger issues.
Because also, like we've talked about, like when a score happens, I'm not like, ooh, can't wait to see what they cut to. I'm not.
I go on my phone and I text you.
Yeah, usually we're immediately in the group chat going, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, because dude, the coverage Kyle Hamilton had on that touchdown catch was insane. And yeah, the camera cut right to Taylor's celebration, but at the same time, who the fuck was looking at the TV after? No, I'm checking my phone talking about. Did you fucking see the catch Kelsey?
And as we've also said multiple times, if you just see it on social media, scroll.
Keep scrolling.
It's right past it. It's so easy.
Well, especially when you leave comments talking about I don't want to see this. Instagram is not reading your comment. It just knows that you commented on this. So you're engaging with it. You want to see more of it. They're going to give you more of it.
And then
stop fucking engaging.
The admins of all these pages go, oh, these posts get the most attention.
This gets engagement. Let me post this again. Like, the more you bitch about stop posting Taylor Swift, you know what they're going to do? They're going to post Taylor Swift. And it's your fault. So if you don't like it, stop. You good, bro? He's fucking zooming. Hi, baby. He's doing the crab.
But yeah. Very dumb.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. Let's go to the other game. What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened?
Dude, I thought Detroit was going to the fucking Super Bowl.
Dude, at halftime, I was like, shit.
I was like, holy shit, we're really getting a Detroit in the Super Bowl. I literally was Googling, because I knew there was 4 teams. I was Googling, like, all teams who have never made the Super Bowl, and I was going to send it to you guys and be like, now there's only 3.
Yep.
But it fucking didn't happen.
Yep.
It's the only team to have been, I think, in the NFL the entire Super Bowl era to never make a Super Bowl.
The rest of them are expansion teams. Like Houston's never been.
Houston, Cleveland expansion version.
And Jacksonville, probably.
Yeah, they never made one.
Yeah.
So
two AFC South teams represent.
But yeah, I was like, oh, that's really cool. They finally get there. Eminem's flipping off Niners fans. But
deserved, probably.
100%.
They're not nearly as annoying as they used to be, I feel, but they used to be a huge problem. Man, I couldn't stand Niners fans for the better part of like 2018 to 2021 or whatever. Like, worst fan base in the league for me personally. In terms of my interactions, couldn't stand them.
Yeah, but then I don't know. I honestly I don't hate Dan Campbell too. He obviously should have just kicked the field goal, obviously, because it would have changed everything. But when that's your coaching philosophy that's brought you there, It's
Well, they had done really well in fourth downs that year.
yeah,
They were
it'd be
75% on 4th and 3 or less.
especially because they were so short and they were running like they had been running the ball. They ran it very well in the first half. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna crucify him for going for it. That philosophy has caused that buy-in. The way he coaches has caused that buy-in from the team that's brought him there. They're not just going to abandon it.
Yeah.
So
He keeps trying to eat my plan.
yeah, but yeah, no problem with Dan Campbell.
Cut it out, Bowie. Excuse you. That's not for you. That's not for you. Hey, seriously, hey, cut it out. Stop it.
Sorry about that. Gentle parenting my cat. He's so precious. Look at him. I can't stay mad at him. He's so precious. Anywho, yeah, I don't hate the decisions in hindsight. Like, I think it's fine. And again, nobody would be complaining if they worked, of course.
Well, obviously.
Also, and it should be known. Like, it's not like Michael Badgley's some elite kicker, some automatic kicker. He had been kicking well as of late, but there's no like. He's not a star by any means.
He wasn't keeping Justin Tucker at bay.
Yeah.
He wasn't keeping Brandon Aubrey at bay.
Yeah. He wasn't giving Nick Folk a run for his money. You know what I mean? In fact, we cut Michael Badgley and traded for Nick Folk in the preseason. So that should tell you right there. But yeah, I mean, congrats to San Francisco.
I'm not congratulating them.
Kyle Shanahan just needs to get it done this year, man. At this point, there's no reason that man shouldn't have a ring. Just get it done. Just go get it done. It's quite ridiculous.
Yeah, he's got the better team.
It's definitely a better roster. But granted, the point there, and I mentioned this the other day, and I think we're nearing this, or I think we're here. We've arrived. This is Kansas City is becoming the new. Oh, this Patriots team isn't nearly as strong as they've been. They're not making it back to the Super Bowl. And what did they do in 2018? They won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It was true in 2019 when Ryan Tannehill sent Tom Brady packing. But but this year obviously everybody was like Kansas City looks weak. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. They're right back where they were last year.
Yeah. Well, because the biggest talking point was about the offense, which was true. But the defense has been the best in the Mahomes era.
Oh, it's been phenomenal.
So
it's been phenomenal this year.
People were just focusing on one side of the ball, not the other, when evaluating the whole team.
I need L'Jarius Sneed in two-tone blue more than I need air. I hand that man a blank check this offseason, Rand Carthon. Please and thank you. Kansas City doesn't want him. Well, they might not have the capacity to.
Now, if Mahomes wins this Super Bowl, bro is on GOAT trajectory.
He is.
I ultimately think he doesn't get there because that's an insane feat to pass Brady. But
I really do think he will be. Well, in terms of who the better football player is when you watch them, undeniably it's going to be Mahomes by the end of. In terms of you can talk about accolades. Yeah, Brady might have him beat by the time Mahomes retires, but who's going to be the better quarterback? It's going to be Patrick Mahomes when it's all said and done.
Yeah, visually, sure.
Yeah,
but I think. I mean, I just have a hard time imagining Mahomes passing Brady as the GOAT in my eyes. I mean, it's like with because just the amount of fucking dog that Brady has. Like Mahomes has a dog. You can't be doing what Mahomes is doing without dog. He's got plenty of dog.
Undeniably.
But when we talk about how crazy, and I mean crazy, Tom is, I can't imagine Mahomes.
In terms of all-time dog in a career, I would say Brady has everybody beat.
Yeah,
definitely.
Like when we talk about how crazy he is, like the Brady, the talk that becomes like MJ versus Brady in terms of how fucking insane you are about what you're doing.
Just the work ethic really is what was so impressive.
And 7 Super Bowls.
The most impressive thing about his career. Really,
but also, Tom Brady's 7th Super Bowl is the most important for his legacy. Not only did he win it out of New England, away from Bill, now, and this wasn't Mahomes' fault, but he beat Mahomes in a Super Bowl.
Well, but to your point, it wasn't.
It wasn't his fault.
It's hard to say. He had 5 Braden McClellans blocking for him that day. Like, what was he supposed to do?
Do better.
He had
When?
He ran for 500 yards behind the line of scrimmage trying to escape the rush.
And
There's nothing
and
you
Brady
can
had
do
also
about it.
beaten him in what was an AFC Championship game that would have
That's
been.
D Ford's fault. That's D Ford's fault. Tom Brady threw the game-losing interception, but his hand was offsides. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. Like again, I understand it's a narrative. It's a narrative-based
2-0,
argument in
baby.
terms of it's a narrative-based argument, but and I'll even give you the Super Bowl, but the AFC Championship game. No, Tom Brady lost them that game, and then
Didn't
D
though.
Ford handed it back to him. Like it just is
But he
what it is.
didn't.
He did.
But he
Until D
didn't.
Ford gave
That's
him
the
it
thing,
back.
though. He didn't. You could say should have, but he
There
didn't.
was a hand. There was a hand offsides. But he still made the throw. And no, no.
Yeah,
no
that hurt his
ifs, ands, or buts
PFF
about it.
grade.
I
I
don't
bet
know
it
if
hurt
they
his
grade-
PFF
I don't,
grade.
I don't even know if they grade penalties.
I
like
don't
plays
know
based
how
on
they.
penalties.
Gotta ask.
I don't know if I brought this up on the pod. I know this is something I found out not too long ago. PFF only grades wide receivers and DBs on plays that they're targeted, which is fucking stupid. Like especially when your slogan is "every player, every play."
I
Like,
don't.
imagine hitting the meanest route of your life.
Where'd you hear this?
Somebody who was explaining how the PFF process works. His name's No Flags Film. But he was going over. He was doing a video on like how like because there's it's an argument people have like how valuable are these really. So he was doing a video on it. And he was like, this is how they grade this, this, and this. And he said during my research for this video, I actually found out they only grade wide receivers and DBs on plays where they get targeted, which I thought was pretty ridiculous. Because if you're locking somebody down and the quarterback doesn't throw it to you, that should be a positively graded play because you're doing your job, right? It's not just making a play on the ball in the air. If the ball never even gets to you because quarterback didn't want to think about throwing it to you because you've got your man just locked up, that's a positive play. It should be. But anywho, this wasn't meant to be a PFF segment here. But yeah, Mahomes' GOAT trajectory, it's possible for sure. And I personally probably will have him there by the time he retires. I think so.
I don't. You know who I won't have as the GOAT at their position if they win the Super Bowl this year?
Who would that be?
I just don't see Kelsey passing Gronk in my eyes. Peak Gronk.
He's not a more
Monster.
dominant player than Gronk was. No, but I think longevity plays a factor, especially availability. Like Kelsey's always healthy for the most part. He's only missed a couple games here and there, like during a season, but he's never missed a lot of time. Gronk missed multiple years. Gronk was.
It's gonna look like fucking MJ versus LeBron again because LeBron is GOAT for fucking longevity, but you give me like that's I guess 2-3-peat Jordan.
Yeah.
Give me that monster over him, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you. Like, if for one game in his prime, like Gronk is the tight end I'm taking in terms of what he did as a blocker. What he did, even one game in their prime, I would take George Kittle's best game over Kelsey's best game because Kittle blocks his ass off, and Kittle's a better rack threat. Like, there's things Kelsey does better. Don't get me wrong. Like, Kelsey's
He's very fluid.
Kelsey's phenomenal. Yeah, that's like especially.
Kelsey's
like,
a
finding the hole
Rushmore
and so,
tight
like,
end. Like,
yeah,
I
No,
probably would have him
undoubtedly.
like number 2.
Undoubtedly.
But I
Undoubtedly.
just-
yeah,
I-
for me, even he's number one. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you George Kittle's a better player, like, already in his legacy or whatever. I'm just saying, like, in terms of, like, one tight end for the best game, probably Gronk number one. I might even just take Kittle number 2, as it is.
Give me
So
Sam
honestly.
Laporta.
Give me Sam Laporta. I still have some friends who think he stinks because they think he's just a scheme product. I'm like, you can't do what Sam Laporta does just because of Ben Johnson. Like I'm with you in terms of like maybe the numbers are going to drop off a bit when Ben Johnson's gone, which by the way is not happening this year. As of today, Ben Johnson is staying once again. I have no idea why.
Whoop.
Dude,
Dude, I think he probably thinks Detroit will have a chance at a Super Bowl.
I think Dan Campbell thought Ben Johnson was gone because that's probably why he said, I think this may have been our only shot. I think Dan Campbell was more surprised than anybody to hear that Ben Johnson was staying in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean,
he probably started crying tears of joy.
We see how Detroit just rallied around that team. I think it's probably harder to leave than people would realize.
I'm with you. Like, it's got to be one of the best jobs in the world if you're the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. But at the same time, it's like, is there going to be a job opening next year as good as Washington was this year? Like, this was it. If you're a young, hotshot offensive head coach, this is it. Like, this is second overall pick. You get the quarterback. You've got Adam Peters, who's like the best GM prospect of the last 5 years. You've got a new owner who is willing to spend money. You have the most cap space in the league. Like, this position, more than likely, is not going to be available next offseason.
But, dude.
And I'm sure he'll be okay. He's a good coach. I think he'll be a good coach wherever he goes. But this was the perfect opportunity for a young
bringing
coach.
Detroit a Super Bowl, being a part of that team.
If they win it,
That dude, if they do,
win it.
Detroit is going to excavate out a whole area for every individual member of that team, player, coach, personnel wise. They're all getting a statue. Every
Problem is
single
Green-
one is getting a 10-foot tall bronze statue.
Green Bay is probably going to be better next year, though. So now you've got more competition. I mean, who knows what Minnesota and Chicago are going to look like with all the ammo Chicago has. And
Well, there's going to be competition no matter where you go.
I'm with you. I'm just saying, like, it's Detroit's got to have a much harder path next season, I think.
Oh, for sure. But if you think you can do it, you're going to fucking try to do it.
Yeah, no, and there's no coach in the league who's like, no, we can't do it. We're not good enough. Like, no, everybody enters the season thinking they're going to win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? What's going on?
And also, maybe Ben doesn't want to, like, roll the dice on a rookie. Maybe he's hoping for a job with a veteran that he knows and to open up.
I suppose. I don't know. But either way, I mean, Detroit's going to be a great team to watch again next year. So we should all be excited for that.
Yeah.
And
Yay! I'm glad he's not coming to Washington.
yeah,
Very glad.
well,
about
as a Cowboys fan, yes.
It feels like Dan
football
Quinn
guy.
might be leaving to one of the two jobs, just because probably Seattle, but like I don't know, interviewed.
It's probably going to be Dan Quinn and Mike McDonald. Let's see which one goes where.
Yeah.
But at this point, like,
I was shocked when I heard that Washington had another interview with Dan Quinn. I was like, "Wait, you guys like him?" And I get that he was great and he had one really bad game, but I'm like, I don't know.
he had a couple stinkers. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like Dan Quinn and Jim Schwartz have kind of built the same defense where it's like this defense eats alive bad football teams, but the second a good offense comes to town, it's like, what the fuck?
Well, I just feel like we lost Trayvon, took a slight hit on the defense, and then lost Leighton Vander Esch, and that ended up being a bigger miss than I think maybe people realized.
Yeah.
But
I'm with you.
whatevs.
Speaking of coaches, are we done doing the NFC Championship game?
Yeah.
Or do we have more to say? Okay, well, speaking of coaches, the Titans have one now. I have not talked about this yet because the last time we were here, we were still looking. Brian Callahan is the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. His introductory press conference was awesome. I like hearing this guy speak. He's very open-minded. He's very forward-thinking. I don't think we're going to see like carbon copy of what Cincinnati's offense is. I know Callahan and Zach Taylor built the offense together, and I mean Zach Taylor has been more vocal about that than anybody in terms of like, no, Callahan's ready. Like, I don't care that he hasn't called plays before because we built this offense from the ground up. It's hard to imagine Callahan won't take a similar approach with whatever offensive coordinator he brings it, because the way Cincinnati did it was like, I love what they're doing in Cincinnati because they always adjust their scheme based on who the players are, not vice versa. You know what I mean? Some coaches are like, I'm gonna like fit a square peg into a round hole with player and scheme. It's like, no, that's fucking.
Say that
cheating.
slower next time.
Like Mike Vrabel, for instance, that's exactly how he treated defense at the very least. And whereas Cincinnati, like, they drafted Joe Burrow, they included some of that LSU offense in that playbook to make things easier for him. Run game wasn't working. They completely scrapped and rebuilt their run game in the middle of the season. Once I think this was 2021. Like, when they needed adjustments, they made them. And that's really what I want in a head coach, somebody who's not stubborn. Like, I know a lot of teams do this when if they have a coach and things don't go well, they will hire the opposite. Callahan could not be more opposite Vrabel. And if anything, I welcome it because I was tired of Vrabel. I talked about it.
Yeah, you said I fucking hate you, Mike.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Didn't
what I
do
said
shit for
verbatim.
Tennessee. Get
By
out.
the way, where are all these people talking about the Titans are stupid. Mike Vrabel's gonna have 20 GMs knocking on his door with blank checks. He's not gonna get a job this offseason. He's not gonna get a job. And honestly, he should take a year off coaching. I've said this. And I'd be grateful if he
Him
I
and
think
Bill
next
just
season-
sipping mimosas.
Yeah, probably together. I'm sure they're hanging out right now. I'm sure they're getting their feet rubbed or whatever in Robert Kraft's favorite massage parlor. And
Deshaun, what are you doing in here?
breaking, the New England Patriots have traded for Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. Cleveland has agreed to eat most of the contract.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, I think Vrabel will land on his feet next offseason just fine. I'm sure he'll be a head coach in the league in 2025. But for now, Vrabel's got to be jobless, and that's okay. I think that's it. I think he's just too abrasive. Like he's had a lot of interviews. I think he just rubs people the wrong way. And honestly, I think he needs to take a year and reflect because there's a reason he doesn't have a job. There's a reason the Titans fired him. There's a reason nobody else hired him.
I mean, you know who else
Because
isn't getting the job?
he's just kind of a dick. Belichick's not
Yeah.
getting the job.
Do you know what that
Um,
means for Cowboys fans? Every single time Mike McCarthy loses a game, all we're gonna hear and see is Bill Belichick. They're gonna be
I would do it now if I was Jerry. He says he wants to go all in on 2024. Okay, do it now. Fire Mike McCarthy. Hire Bill Belichick.
You know, I'd welcome
what
it.
they
It
do.
would get me back in because, like I said, and I will stand by this. This does not include draft season. Draft season, I'm still going to partake in this fun. But
Yeah.
come this upcoming season, I will not be a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Your boy is taking the year off.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
It's exciting if you're a Titans fan. Very exciting. Callahan really likes Will Levis. He talked very glowingly about him. In fact, during the second interview of the in-person interview that he had in Tennessee, he said he was ready to give an emboldened plea for them to hire him right there on the spot, but he didn't have to because they offered him the job there at the end. So they both wanted it. Both parties really wanted it. So
It's going to be weird when you
Callahan
guys
really
draft
wanted,
J.J. McCarthy.
Oh, Chargers are drafting J.J. McCarthy.
Oh,
Justin Herbert's getting traded.
5th overall.
No, 3rd overall. He's getting traded to New England.
Oh.
Yeah, 5th overall.
Whoa.
Brock Bowers. No, yeah, he said Will Levis has a lot of elite physical traits. He's really excited to improve and to make better. I liked what he had to say about wide receivers. He was talking about wanting selfless guys, like big physical guys, guys who ran routes together, like ran routes selflessly. One to like to get each other open, block selflessly, like good things to hear there. And he said he wants a defensive coordinator who is going to make his job difficult. And currently, the Titans have still. We've already fired Tim Kelly. We fired Charles London. We fired some other people. Shane Bowen is still the defensive coordinator until further notice. We've interviewed other candidates, and we're going to continue to. But we are retaining Bowen as of now, and there's no guarantee Bowen won't be back next year. And honestly, Bowen's given the Bengals a lot of problems. The Bengals have never scored more than 20 points against Shane Bowen. He's given them. They had 9 sacks against them in the playoffs. We absolutely locked him down this season. I understand if he would want to keep Shane Bowen, and honestly, I'd be okay with it. Like I was never saying Bowen was like the biggest problem on this staff. I've mostly been pro Shane Bowen before this season. Now I feel a little lukewarm about him, but I'd be okay with running it back with Bowen next year. But if the defense doesn't take a step up, like yeah, he can go. But we did have the number 1 red zone defense in the league, which isn't nothing. It's
Pretty important stat.
Yeah. The plenty of injuries in the second. Plenty of players regress. Like Byard regressed, and we traded him. And then honestly, Kayvon Wallace played better. And I think we should re-sign Kayvon Wallace and give him a legit shot to start next to Amani Hooker next year. Christian Fulton can go kick rocks. That brother's garbage. Sign L'Jarius Sneed and don't look back. I'd be okay with re-signing Sean Murphy-Bunting. I think he played well in spots, and I think with a better CB1 opposite him, he's a good enough CB2. He's a playmaker. He's the only reason we even scored points against Cleveland this year. Braden's eating his mic right now.
What?
And then Roger McCreary, of course, has locked down the starting slot. He's one of the best slots in the league now. Love Roger McCreary. And in general, there's a lot to like on this defense. I think Danico Autry's open to re-signing, I've heard. So we'll see. We'll see if he stays. I'd be okay with that as long as we draft a replacement. But a lot to be optimistic about, man. Like I have a hard time thinking Brian Callahan won't make Kyle Phillips active at least on game day. I think it'd be pretty ridiculous if Callahan was also like, nah, this Kyle Phillips guy stinks.
Well, maybe he does.
So,
If he
nah, I don't think so.
if Brian Callahan also does it, it might mean something.
So I've heard, now this is important. So T. Higgins is probably going to be getting the franchise tag. He's certainly not getting a deal. It's not going to happen, but he will probably get the tag. However, he has no intention to play on the tag. So
Tag and trade?
if the Bengals want the 38th overall pick in the draft, and Brian Callahan wants to reunite with T. Higgins, and basically take him home because T. Higgins grew up just outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. He grew up in Oak Ridge, I think. This is home for T. Higgins. This is a guy he's familiar with in Brian Callahan. Second round pick, the 38th overall pick, really. So basically, the very tail end of the very beginning of the second round, pretty close to the first round for T. Higgins. I would do it. I'd do it. I'd do it just so nobody else could do it.
I mean, I would want that for. I mean, I'd be okay with that if I was.
We have the money to pay Higgins.
If I was on the Bengals, like from a Bengals perspective.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, a lot of money. We've got like a true wide receiver one. Our quarterback is good enough to elevate maybe wide receiver, like lesser wide receivers into some higher tiers. You got the alpha that you need in this league. Fuck it.
Yeah. Not just an alpha. You got a straight dog.
You got a guy who I think, if he's fully healthy, could be competing for wide receiver one with the chemistry he has with his quarterback. Absolutely. So.
I still think he's currently my wide receiver 3. I mean, well, it's hard to say CeeDee Lamb isn't better right now after what he did.
Right now, yeah.
Maybe wide receiver 4 then, with AJ Brown being the 5. But, yeah, I like Jamar Chase. Give him another 17 games. Like, yeah, he could be that guy.
With his guy, yeah. He still had some good games with Jake Browning, which is how you know he's that guy. Is that he even had some monster performances with Browning, but like full season with his guy, his boy.
17 games. Roman Chase, I'm ready for it.
Oh.
I don't think the offense is going to be like. Obviously, I'm very pro Brian Callahan. I'm very happy with the hire. I don't think the Bengals offense is going to crumble without him. Especially they hired in house the David Pitcher, the quarterback coach, who I'm a big fan of. Like I think that's a good hire. So, keep it in house. Like keep doing it the same way you've been doing it. I think that's perfect. So, I see. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. So yeah, if I'm Rand Carthon, I'm kicking the tires certainly on trading for T. Higgins. Now, if there's not a whole lot of trade interest for Higgins, which I'm sure there would be because he's T. Higgins, but if there wasn't, if T. Higgins does end up agreeing to the tag, he's probably just going to sign with Tennessee in the offseason next year. So I'm also okay with not trading for him now, drafting a wide receiver now in the second round, and then signing T. Higgins next offseason. Then you get the best of both worlds. You get to keep pick 38. You take A.D. Mitchell or Xavier Legette or whoever's left there at 38. A.D. Mitchell's probably going to go in the back of the first round because he's going to blow people away in the pre-draft.
I see him going in the first for a lot of mocks.
Yeah, I've seen him going in the 20s and 30s. Like I think he's probably not going to be there at 38. But, again, like A.D. Mitchell kind of plays like T. Higgins a little bit anyway. So maybe if you plan on signing T. Higgins in 2025, you don't necessarily need to draft A.D. Mitchell this year. You can draft a Xavier Legette or
Michael Penix
what? Yeah, wide receiver Michael Penix. Yeah.
No, to replace Will Levis.
Yeah, surely. You could trade back and you could take like Troy Franklin. I'd be down. Quite a few guys I'd be okay with. In fact, if we are going to trade down, I hope we do it in the second round. Get another third round pick because we don't have one of those right now because we traded our third round pick for Will Levis last year. So. Yeah, but ultimately, I'm excited.
I mean, I feel like in the draft, switching teams here, the Cowboys are probably just going to take an offensive lineman.
And they should.
From where they're sitting, it just feels like what they'll do. Tyron Smith's getting older and could be out. Terrence Steele probably needs to be replaced. We'll probably draft a guy who's going to make a Pro Bowl at an offensive line position because it's just.
I was just going to say, who would make sense to me is Troy Fautanu out of Washington. Projects as a guard but played tackle, and I would say you can kind of like do him and Tyler Smith. You can kind of figure out your left side there.
Yeah.
If you draft Troy Fautanu, like okay, who gives us our best 5? Like which one of you plays guard, which one of you plays tackle? But I could see that happening. That's probably about where he'll go. Is like later in the first round. He could go to Dallas.
Yeah. Pro Bowler Tyler Smith on the left side, replacing Zach Martin.
Gardner Minshew just made the fucking.
I saw that, and I'd have to look around like who.
Too many injuries in the league. Like 1/3 of teams lost their starter for significant time. It's ridiculous.
It's tough.
I would have put Will Levis in there, me personally.
Okay.
Very loud. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but he's very loud.
Do we Should we wait to make Super Bowl picks for next week?
We can wait until next week. Yeah, they're not going nowhere.
You're
So,
right.
They're not going anywhere. We'll be all right.
Trying to think what else there is. You know what we didn't do?
What did we do?
Well, we didn't like pick ahead of time that we usually pick ahead of time.
Yeah, so I actually didn't make my pick for the first game, but
Oh no,
thankfully
I
I
was
went
talking
wrong.
about
I
like
went
top
wrong
3 of the
either way.
week. We didn't say what we were gonna
Oh.
do.
Oh yeah, that too. Top 3 reasons why Brian Callahan's gonna take the Lombardi back to Nashville. Number 1, he's a very very sweet guy, very very authentic man. Number 2, he's got Will Levis. Number 3, he's a very sweet guy. He's a very authentic man. All right. Is that a new Dirk bet or has that been there?
So that is funny you spotted that.
Yeah.
My parents are out of town, so I brought all the other dogs because there's 2 other dogs that live in this house.
Mm-hmm.
So their dog beds are up here as well right now. They've been sleeping with me. Here's another one, just right next to me.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah,
That's good stuff.
that's what that is.
Bowie's been sleeping with me a lot, basically this whole weekend and last night. Like Bowie's hasn't left my side much, so it's been really nice. He's been very 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 sweet little guy. I'm very grateful. He's been wonderful. Does like hanging out, which I like.
Do you know what we should do for the top 3?
What's up?
We should do our top 3 favorite football players right now. Active.
Not on your favorite team, I would imagine, right? That's the stipulation. Like not on your favorite team.
I mean, I think I might have one Cowboy in my top.
I think we're allowed one. We're allowed one
Okay.
from our favorite team.
Then I mean, I think I got mine.
Just so it's not all Cowboys players for you, and not all.
It
Titans
wouldn't be.
players.
I don't like them.
Okay. All right.
I'm not a fan.
Somebody has actually just moved off my top 3. Probably that's Lamar Jackson at this list.
Yeah, he's staying on mine. Spoilers.
Well,
I guess I'll start. I'll just get started off with my number 3. I'll put him at 3. It's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm not hopping off this Lamar. He played bad.
Yeah.
I'm
not hopping off the train either, bro.
And this is and this is not the first time he's played bad in the playoffs.
No.
But he's still very electrifying to watch. And I just like Lamar.
He's a good dude, man.
He's just a
guy.
cool dude, bro. Chill,
cool
funny,
yeah.
handsome.
Very handsome.
Yeah, I'm still a Lamar fan. It's tough. I mean, his legacy's getting hurt from these playoff performances. I fear he's going to be known as this regular season king who doesn't do much in the playoffs, but you know, he still has plenty of career left to change that narrative. But yeah, Lamar still one of my favorite players in the NFL.
Yeah. Honestly, number 3 for me might just be Puka Nacua. I mean, like so much dog in that one.
Pure dog. That's a pure breed right there.
Plays much faster than his testing numbers. That's for damn sure.
Yes.
Not that he's like lighting the world on fire with his deep speed, but he's certainly he ran like he ran something slow, I think, at the combine, but he's definitely plays faster than that. And he really is. He's a lot like Cooper Kupp Jr. He's not the same player. They're different, but they're similar in the sense of like how Sean McVay uses them both. They get a little freaky with it, but
little freaky.
yeah, like Pookie Nacua.
Fat. Just call him. What did it translate the name?
Yeah.
What a crazy nickname to be carrying on as an NFL player. A wide receiver in the NFL as well.
He's fucking awesome. He's incredible.
Yeah, is that it for your number 3?
Number 3. That's number 3.
For my number
I had to
2.
really think about it.
For number 2, I'm gonna put this is where I'll put the Cowboy player.
I know who your number 1 is then. We all know who your number 1 is.
I might have a prop I'm gonna bring out when I talk about my number 1.
Yeah.
But my number 2, who I do also have a prop of, and I could bring out if I wanted, but I'm going with Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
the reason I'm taking him over CD as the Cowboy representative is because CD like truly came on as elite this year.
Yeah.
Mike has been that since he entered this league.
Yeah, since day one.
He was a Defensive Player of the Year finalist his rookie year.
Yeah, he's been that.
Been
dude.
a
He's
dog.
that.
Been a
He's
monster.
been that dude. Mhm.
And you know he's doing his own little podcast. We're podcast brothers. You know we're in this industry
Yeah,
together
Ours is better, but it's okay.
for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, industry brother. And I don't know. He's just, oh man, like what he could be. His potential for what he could be all time is insane. Like he's got game wrecking potential. He's a beast. Can do anything you want. Like the ultimate chess piece on the defensive side of the football field.
Yeah.
Put him anywhere, he'll make it work. Yeah, that's my number 2.
Number 2 for me, it's a guy I've been very, very fond of this year. I've spoken very highly of him all year, and I mentioned I think the last podcast we did that you might not be the only guy wearing a QB number 9 jersey from a team that's not yours at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Because Jordan Love is my number 2.
Really?
I love
That
Jordan
light
Love.
skin charm got you.
God, he's incredible, man. Like I said, I have no worries about him in the postseason, even after that throw to end the game.
How do the Packers do this?
They can't keep getting away with it, man. But at the same time, like, I don't know why people thought it wouldn't work. Like, I get, like, if you don't like a prospect, you don't like a prospect, right? But at the same time, like, this was like unanimously hated as a draft pick, and I'm like, okay, that's like slow the fuck down. Like, Jordan Love's good.
Well,
I like
it
Jordan
wasn't because of Jordan Love. It had to do because of what the team, where they were sitting.
Draft a wide receiver. I get it.
And they were like, we could be competing.
Yeah.
And you're taking a pick for for 4 years down the road.
Well, what happened though 4 years down the road? Eventually, they made the playoffs with him. And they're gonna make the playoffs many times, hopefully in his career, and he's gonna play better in them than he did to end that game. Excuse me. Just the throws this man can make are absurd. Like he's just got so much sauce as a passer, and like he is every bit the super weapon I think that all these guys in the AFC are. And I'm excited next year to see you're gonna have Jordan Love. You're probably gonna have Caleb Williams and Drake May in that conference. I think we're gonna see a career year for Kyler Murray next year.
Agreed.
I can't wait. Let me tell you something about the 2024 Arizona Cardinals. We will be seated. I'm gonna be feasting on it. I can't wait to see Kyler Murray next year. Like the NFC
Playoff team.
The NFC.
I'll say it right now.
Yeah, honestly.
Cardinals
the
next
NFC
year
has
will make the playoffs.
A real shot to catch up in terms of quarterback talent, in terms of like believability, and in terms of Super Bowl contention. The NFC has a real chance to catch up next season. Like this is not your daddy's NFC. They have young bulls in there now. And
Well, this actually might be your daddy's NFC, depending on how old your dad is. Because I think for a while the NFC was running it. So this might be your daddy's NFC coming up soon.
This ain't your cousin's NFC.
Yeah, this ain't your slightly older cousins.
This ain't your 7 years older cousin's NFC. This is your NFC. So embrace it, because hopefully, and I like, for the sake of parity, like of course AFC supremacy. As long as I'm alive, right? I'm racist like that. AFC, whoop, whoop, right? I'm not actually racist. Just need to clear that up. But anywho,
Hey, Brayden, edit out the part where he said he's not racist.
Yeah.
Remember this when you edit that part out. Actually, make him repeat it 3 more times randomly throughout the pod. I'm racist.
I'm racist. No.
We got him.
AFC supremacy. However, I'm excited. But anywho, yeah, Jordan Love, number 2 for me. I'm sorry. Go ahead and give us your number 1.
1 second. I need to grab something.
Yeah. God damn, what a sexy man. Good Lord above. You already know what's going on. You already know what this is.
Frame real quick.
Keep it out of frame as if the people don't know what the fuck you've got.
I think I own 5. I gave one of those 5 away to my mother because I was like, take this away from me. And it was a Dak Prescott jersey.
Yeah.
But I own 5 Dallas City sports jerseys. 3 Mavericks, 2 Cowboys. I got a Dak, a Micah Parsons, and then I got a Luka, a Dirk. I own a Porzingis jersey,
Womp womp.
which ended up being the sole reason I was able to get my Instagram account back. I've talked about that story before.
That's true.
But I own one jersey that is not a Dallas sports jersey. Before, he was every white girl's favorite quarterback. He was mine. I got this jersey the season he went to the Super Bowl, but in that October. It was for his birthday present. Before he went to the Super Bowl, before he really started blowing up on all those thirsty TikToks. I've been a fan. Been a fan. I hopped on LSU, like everybody, but unlike everybody, I did not hop off when he got drafted to Cincinnati. Do you remember how people talked about Cincinnati before Burrow got there?
Oh yeah, people were saying Burrow
should force a trade.
Should force a
They're like, yeah, he just pulled an Eli Manning. Nope, he stays. It's now a powerhouse when he's healthy. Yeah. Only active quarterback to be able to beat Mahomes in the playoffs is this man.
Yep.
This is my number one favorite player in the NFL. It's not close.
Yeah.
This is who I will be rooting for this season. Well, since I'm taking the year off from the Cowboys, I'm pretty much going to be a Bengals fan because I love Burrow, I love Chase. Just gonna go all in on them.
Oh yeah.
But yes, Joe Burrow is my number one, obviously.
My number one. It's not a jersey I own yet, but it's a jersey I want to own. However, there were some rumblings. I can't find them, but I know I heard it somewhere that he may be changing his number sometime in the near future. And honestly, I think he should. I don't know that his number is something that I love. I think he should go single digit or maybe just change it to something else. But my favorite player in the NFL, somebody I cannot wait to watch next season,
Traylon Burks?
is my man Tyjae Spears.
Oh, that's your number of all time.
I can't wait to watch Tyjae Spears.
I should have known.
I don't know why you said Traylon Burks, as if that would have been a better.
Oh no,
option
I
than
was
Tyjae
joking.
Spears. Honestly, I have the Burks jersey. I don't want to get that prop out.
It's a joke.
It's on the floor in my closet right now, I think.
Where it should be.
Yeah, that's where it belongs until. Although I have faith in him this year. But anywho, who I really have faith in this year, more so than anything, if Will Levis doesn't develop at all, like it wouldn't like put a dagger to my heart, right? But if Tyjae Spears didn't have a Pro Bowl caliber season, I would be disappointed. Like honestly, I'm doing it to myself, but anything less than like elite play from Tyjae Spears this year, and I will be upset. Like I so firmly believe this man is going to be incredible. And the minute he announces that jersey change, I'm getting the new one. Gonna have to. Birthday gift this year from me. It's that new Tyjae Spears.
So that's your number one.
Yeah, electric with the ball in his hands. Yeah, he pass blocks his ass off too. He just does everything you want out of a running back, man.
Well, I think that's it for the top three.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a good one. I'm surprised we haven't done that one yet.
Yeah.
I guess we usually try to keep them non-football centric because it's like a different thing. But
yeah,
we've got a lot of football to talk about. It's the playoff. The playoffs.
You want to talk about playoffs?
Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about playoffs. So
yeah,
I'm with it.
Do you want to move on to what we've been on?
What have you been on, sir?
We both have been on one game.
We've both been on it.
It's taken over the internet a little bit.
Oh, you've been on that too.
Oh yeah. I've been on that.
Tell me.
Been on that,
All
John.
right. We've been on that POW world.
We have been, dude. I have been having a lot of fun, dude. That game is fun.
Maybe you and I should start doing a POW world stream. After we're done with the red stream, we can do the POW world stream.
We'll talk about it.
We'll discuss away from prying eyes and ears.
But yeah, POW World is surprisingly fun.
God, it's incredible. Man. It's take Legends. Take Legends Arceus. Take Legend of Zelda. Take I don't know. You can even throw some Scarlet and Violet in there, I guess, if you want to. But really, I mean, take Ark Survival Evolved as well. Throw all that shit in a blender, and you've got this. But dude, this is so much better than anything Game Freak has put out in such a long time.
Yes.
And it's like if these were actual Pokemon, if these just had the names of actual Pokemon, this like I would never stop playing this if
Oof.
that's actually what they were. But even then, there are some great designs. Some of these designs are straight up like reskins.
I watched a video of a dude going through each one and he putting on a
Yeah.
tier list of how plagiarized they
Well,
are.
when I was telling you and Gabe, I started playing it. I'm looking at the screenshots that are on Steam. The very last one, it is literally Corviknight with a palette swap. Like it's just the colors are just different, but it is Corviknight through and through in terms of sprite. Like it's fucking Corviknight. So, but yeah, there's some in that game. There's a Luxray looking one. There's a Lucario looking one. But
There's that Gigamax Eevee.
yes, you're right. The was it
Crimus.
Yeah, Cremus,
Yeah.
penis, whatever. It's Excuse me. That one basically looks like Gigantamax Eevee.
Yeah.
You've got Sparkets, which is like the Pikachu of the realm.
Well, the one, if that's the one I'm thinking of, that one's more Raichu. That's just like straight up Raichu.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't necessarily look like Pikachu. I'm just saying that it's like what it would be.
Yeah. But yeah, there are some good designs and there are some Pokemon. Just straight up Pokemon.
There's a couple stinkers, and there's for the most part. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, that one chicken is just that was just a chicken.
It's just a chicken. Well, also there's one that's definitely it's definitely just furry bait. It's called like Love Something or whatever, and it's got like a heart for boobs.
Are you talking about the Salazzle ripoff?
Yeah, she looks like Salazzle, but she's definitely
That is definitely a parody of Salazzle, where they're like, you know what, you
Oh, for
want to make
sure.
Pokemon sexualized? Here's how you really fucking do it.
Oh, literally, like it couldn't have been more obvious at this way. In fact, like what do you call it? When you get like the base raids or whatever, I got one. It was like adoring fangirls. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes, dude, I got that
one.
one. It was just like a wave of them, and I was like, yo, what
I
the
had that
fuck?
one. I had that one either last night or the night before. I think it was the night before. I don't think I played last night. But yeah, we've been on Power World, and it's a lot of fun.
It is.
It's a lot of fun. I started playing Warframe recently, which it's free, but if you want to have fun, you probably have to spend money or grind a lot. So there's that. I do want to, what do you call it? I'm not spending any money on the game, especially after having the flat tire yesterday. I don't want to spend money. I just want to thug that shit out, grind for something new. But I'm having fun with it though. I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah.
And let's see, I'm very behind on Percy Jackson, very much so.
Oh, dude, I'm caught up. There's only one more episode. Comes out
Yeah, it comes out today. Yeah.
Tee excited. Super excited.
I'm very behind, but that's okay. I'll get back to it, I'm sure, at some point, maybe. And I think that's about it for me. I don't think I've been on much else.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much been it for me too. Just a super quick. I mean, I think this is just gonna be a super quick pod.
I guess we really ain't have too much to go over.
No. We'll think of some more segments, some more theme things to be doing next time to really be filling out.
Next week we're definitely gonna have to. It'll be a little bit of a detour, just because there's not gonna be a whole lot of football stuff. Oh, we can talk about some of the other coaching hires actually.
I'm not gonna care to. I'd rather do some other stuff.
We can do it. I mean, right now before we go, since there's other football.
Oh, I mean, like I don't care to. I don't think I care to. Period.
Okay. Do you mind if I go over them real quick?
I mean, sure.
Okay. Well, Raheem Morris got hired by the Falcons, which I thought was funny because he was the interim when Dan Quinn got fired. But nonetheless, good hire, I think, personally. They also brought in Rams quarterback coach Zach Anderson.
PFF Zach.
Is that it?
I don't know what his last name is, but he used to work at PFF.
Okay, Zach something.
Him and Bobby Slovic.
I know. Yeah, I know Slovic used to work there. But what do you call it? Yeah, Zach's the offensive coordinator out of Atlanta, which I think is a good hire. And let's see. Look, I already mentioned Dave Canales earlier, and how much I like that for Bryce Young. If David Tepper lets Canales do his fucking job, I'm very excited about this. Not because I think they're going to be good, but because Bryce Young is going to play watchable football next year. Because Dave Canales is very good with quarterbacks.
What a bar! What a bar to clear.
Arthur Smith's new offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. I actually don't hate this.
I don't either. I think people are they're overreacting.
Well, especially if you compare Kenny Pickett's skill set to Ryan Tannehill's skill set, Arthur Smith knows how to work with Kenny Pickett. Like, absolutely. No question about it. like very similar like style, very similar like athletic like ability, very similar physical traits. Like Arthur Smith and Kenny Pickett could work. Absolutely, if they keep Pickett, if they want Pickett to be the guy.
I
I'm
mean,
sure
I
they'll
know.
have
I think they've already said they're going to bring in competition,
yeah,
but that varies as to what that really means. So we'll see.
yeah, we'll find out.
Are you bringing
But
in? I don't know, like somebody equivalent to Mason Rudolph, or are you bringing in? I don't know who's going
yeah,
to be available.
Jim
Russell
Harbaugh
Wilson.
officially signed by the Chargers. We kind of knew that was happening though, so there's
Yeah.
not really much to talk about there. We had already talked about that previously. Like that was pretty chalk. What else? What
Well,
other
you
jobs?
also said Bill to Atlanta felt like that.
Yeah, and I also said Ben Johnson to the Commanders.
You're 1
Seemed
for
that
3.
Yeah, well, you know.
But yeah, I mean that Jim one felt more so than the others.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Jim Harbaugh though for sure because I mean once the Raiders brought back Antonio Pierce, there was
That
no
was
other
done. Yeah,
destination
because
that
Raiders
made
were the
sense.
only team I think that could come out
Yeah.
and steal him.
Yeah, there was no other destination that made sense besides the Chargers, and he played quarterback for the Chargers. Like,
I
he
think
played-
Washington made sense.
I don't know. I always thought they would go like a young guy with like new direction or whatever.
I mean, I think
I
I guess it
think-
made sense for him. I mean, he's a great. I think he's a great coach. I think he makes sense anywhere.
So yeah, we'll see. The only two openings currently are Seattle and Washington. Not to be confused with Seattle, Washington, but sorry, that was dumb. Oh my fucking god. Anyway, yeah, that's probably some destination of. Mike McDonald's gonna get one of those two jobs, and then the other one it's Dan Quinn or maybe it's Bobby Slowick. I don't know.
We'll see.
Shane Waldron officially left the Seahawks, the offensive coordinator. He's the offensive coordinator for the Bears now. So, good for him.
What do you think that means? Does that mean Caleb Williams or does that mean Justin Fields?
I don't know that he really has any input on that, but now
Well,
had they
whether or not
hired-
he has input, them
yeah,
deciding to pick
that's
him
what,
could
what the
tell.
direction means. Had they hired Wink Martindale, I would say Justin Fields. They didn't hire Wink Martindale though after they interviewed him, so I don't know.
I mean, I've always
I
been on the
think-
side that they should draft Caleb Williams, but we'll see what they
Me
actually
too,
do.
Because I understand the argument people make as far as like, you know, draft positioning goes. Like, yeah, you can take Marvin Harrison Jr., you keep Justin Fields, and then you take like an offensive lineman or whatever with the ninth pick or whatever they have. But at the same time, like that rookie contract for quarterbacks matters a lot, and you're not going to have it with Justin Fields after this next year. You're going to have it with Caleb Williams for the next 4 years.
Mhm.
So just send Justin to Atlanta and then go get Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah, that's been since I don't know October. That's been what everyone says
Atlanta's been the hot
because it's
destination.
what it should be. But we'll see what happens.
There's very few teams like New England's in too prime of a position to take Jaden Daniels. It would make sense for them to take Justin Fields. And then you've got like I don't know if the Giants would be interested. I don't think they would be in Justin Fields. Like Atlanta to me is like, okay, this is win now mode. Let's go get a quarterback we think maybe can help us do that. You know, so I don't know. It makes sense.
We'll see.
And I think that's about where I'm at here. I think that's about all I have to say about the coaching hires. I think I got them all. Did I miss one? Because who else had an opening? So I know the Titans, Panthers, Raiders, Chargers. I know Patriots had an opening, but that's been filled already. The Seahawks, the Commanders are open. What's the other job that I'm forgetting? There was 8. And the Raiders and Patriots were already filled, so there was really 6, but I only have 5.
What did you say?
Titans,
Uh-huh.
who have been filled.
Right.
Panthers,
Okay.
been filled. Chargers, been filled. Commanders and Seahawks currently available, but there were 8 openings.
And then Raiders, Patriots,
Raiders
like you
and
said, so that's
Patriots.
7.
There was another one, and I'm blanking right now. Who the fuck got hired? Am I tripping, or were there only 7? I thought there was 8.
I mean, the number must have included. I
No,
don't know.
it's only got 7 with the ones that I've included here.
Because you said
So,
you said Patriots and you said
Patriots and Raiders. Yeah, the Raiders kept Antonio Pierce, so it basically wasn't really an opening. And the Patriots took them 5 seconds to elevate Gerard Mayo. So
don't know. Let me see if I can find like an old
I
article.
swear I'm blanking right now.
NFL
Who else?
head coach openings. Let's.
Maybe there were only 7. Maybe I'm just wrong.
Carolina Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Falcons.
That's the one I was forgetting.
How did we
Okay.
forget that one? We talked the most
I don't
about
know.
that
We were
one.
just talking about them. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So we covered them all. So we're just waiting on 2 more. So next week we can maybe very quickly talk about the 2. If I'm assuming they'll both be filled next Tuesday.
I think
it would-
so.
it
I
would
feel like these teams got to do it. Just the quicker, the better.
Yeah. I mean, there's no candidates playing in the Super Bowl. You know, like Mike McDonald's available now, like for sure. You can just go talk to him. Aaron Glenn. I don't think either of them are interested in Aaron Glenn, but if they were, you can go talk to him. Dan Quinn's available, obviously. Like, go get him. Go get your guy.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We shall see.
We shall. But is that going to do it for us today?
Yeah, I think that's going to do it for us today. That has been this episode of Avillion and Brayden Talks. The next one will be up over on Avillion Talks. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like this video. It always helps. Subscribe for more to come. And as always, keep gaming.
Deuces.